Se lo muki no c'è tu, se lo muki là. Se lo muki no c'è tu, se lo muki là. Se lo muki no c'è tu, se lo muki là. Se lo muki no c'è tu, se lo muki là.
I gotta go, making way for the evening news coming up right about now, right here on your nation station, DBS Radio.
It's always a better choice. My one and only station.
DBS Radio. Fair and balanced, unbiased and clear, concise and accurate. This is the DBS Evening News. Here now is your presenter with the headlines.
Good evening and welcome to the DBS Evening News. I am your presenter, Alian Christopher. In the headlines, Prime Minister Roosevelt reiterates a call for individuals to form companies and apply to the CBI program. In news from the region, Trinidad's Prime Minister assures citizens that Trinidad and Tobago will not be used by the U.S. to launch attacks on Venezuelan people. And internationally, Brazil creates new indigenous territories during protest heat COP30. These are the headlines, the details of the news to follow.
This Christmas, Flo's making the season merrier when you add postpaid to internet. Unwrap a new smartphone for only $10. Plus, we're giving you 35% off your mobile bill and win even more goodies with our Spin the Wheel Christmas promotion. This Christmas, the rewards are on us. Add postpaid to your internet plan today in-store or visit discoverflow.co for more info. Terms and conditions apply. Flo, we keep your Christmas rhythm flowing.
DBS News.
Welcome back. First up in the news this evening, Prime Minister Roosevelt has reiterated a call for individuals to form companies and apply to the CBI program to undertake an investment in Dominica. His call came during the opening ceremony of the Oasis Hotel developed under the CBI program.
The Citizenship by Investment program has been there and the legislation is clear. It allows for the government to enter into agreements for real estate and tourism-related investments. But the regulations also allow for investments in agriculture and manufacturing. And I, as Prime Minister, have invited many Dominicans, young professionals, lawyers and doctors and accountants, people who've done marketing, people who've done economics and finance, people who are into construction. And I've invited them over the years to my residence, to my home in Vickers, to my office, and urge them to use your talent that you have, the skills and the knowledge that you have acquired at universities. Put yourself together. You're an accountant, bring your accounting background. You're a lawyer, bring your legal background. You're an economist, bring your economic background. You're a financial man, bring your financial background. And why don't you form a company and apply to the CBI program and do an investment in Dominica? Sometimes we spend too much time talking negative in the country rather than looking at the opportunity. Because while we're fighting between ourselves, among ourselves as Dominicans, there are people who are seeing the promise and the opportunities in Dominica, and they come in and invest in gradually in our country. So let us put aside our differences, my dear brothers and sisters, and recognize that every time there's a success in Dominica, is a success for all of us.
And that is Prime Minister the Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt. General Secretary of the Trade Union Congress, Thomas Layton, says efforts are underway to legally establish the Trade Union Congress in Dominica. Layton says during a recently held meeting, members decided on the way forward for the Trade Union Congress. He says the members also agreed to reach out to the Minister of Labour to request a meeting with the Congress.
We had a well-attended meeting on Thursday, I think it was, of the executive, and we discussed a number of things. So we're going to work on a plan of action for the next 6 months, and we also discuss the registration of the Congress. As you know, when we started, we were referring to ourselves as the Dominica Trade Union Congress, but you must get the approval or the permission of the Minister for National Security when you're registering the company. So we have received that permission or approval to use the word Dominica in our title. So that will be done. Sometime this week we'll begin the process to get the Congress registered. We are thinking of, in some way or form, to honor the contribution of Brother Curtis Augustus, although he's not with us anymore. So it was agreed that for the time being, the Secretariat will be located at the Dominica Public Service Union. That was some of the major decisions that we took. We also took a decision to write to the Minister for Labour, requesting a meeting. So that is been this week. That is, the letter will be written. So we are on the move, and also to write to various organizations, both regionally, internationally, to inform them of the establishment of the Congress.
General Secretary of the Trade Union Congress, Thomas Later. The Trade Union Congress for Dominica was officially formalized on September 26, 2025. A joint effort by the Ministries of Health and Agriculture on Friday brought stakeholders together for a focus group discussion on improving food security and strengthening the prevention and management of non-communicable diseases. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Ryan Ansem, emphasized the importance of affordable, locally produced foods and noted that accessible, healthy options play a crucial role in reducing NCD rates.
We all know food is life. We say water is life, food is life. And so the ministry mandate is to provide food for its population. And so we take that very seriously. And not only producing the food, but how do we produce food that is affordable and available to the population? Affordable in the sense that everyone can afford the food that we produce. And we can go further and say that we want to produce healthy food. And so we're very happy to be part of this initiative. Another area I believe that we need to look at is how we connect, and not just connecting it, but have policy and strategic plans to see how the Ministry of Agriculture, Health and Education has a policy, strategic policy, to see how we can reduce the manage and to manage NCDs, because that is critical. Agriculture has its part to produce the food, healthy food, affordable food, but how do we prepare this food? How do we engage the young and upcoming people in society, or young children? And we have an aggressive food feeding program, but how do we encourage young people to eat healthy? Is it affordable? Is it available? Is it stable? And so these are the things that we need to talk about. Why don't we look at incentive package to make food more affordable? What are the policies and incentives that we can send to the politician or advise the politician on making food? And the government has gone one step further, putting taxes on sugary drinks. But how do we make food more affordable to the people? And so we have to look at areas to reduce the cost of production. We have to look at areas that we can prepare healthy food.
And that is Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Ryan Ansem. The 25th World Creole Music Festival has exceeded expectations, delivering its strongest performance in the event's history. The Chief Executive Officer of the Discover Dominica Authority, Marva Williams, says the festival recorded a remarkable 48% jump in stay-over arrivals compared to 2024. Williams says this increase is proof of the event's growing international appeal and its major boost to the island's tourism sector.
Well, the World Creole Music Festival exceeded all expectations, and to refer back to the numbers, starting with the 9 days leading up to the World Creole Music Festival, we recorded approximately 10,540 stay-over arrivals, and that's the highest on record ever in terms of putting on the World Creole Music Festival, the highest in the 25 years. And it also represented a 48% increase in comparison to 2024. So that in itself was a significant increase. And we can go a bit further in terms of analyzing the air and the sea arrivals. Air arrivals increased tremendously by 53%. So we moved to about 3,000 people coming in via air to over 4,600 people coming in, and over 4,000 people coming in via sea to 5,865 people coming in.
Chief Executive Officer of the Discover Dominica Authority, Marva Williams. She was speaking on Focus on Government and Development program on DBS Radio last night. CEO of Dominica's International Airport Project, Samuel Johnson, says acquiring land for the construction of the International Airport remains a challenge. In an interview with DBS Radio, Johnson expressed hope that this issue will be resolved by the 2027 deadline. He says, however, the unit responsible for this has been working closely with property owners to address the ongoing challenge.
Some of the houses you're seeing to us would have already been acquired, and so they're in the process of relocation and demolition. The team that is managing acquisition has been working closely with property owners, very patiently, I should add, to ensure that people moved in a timely manner. The contractor has been working literally around some of the acquisition challenges, but as you can see from the expanse of the project, the runway construction goes on. There is some challenges insofar as acquisitions that impede some of the side slopes where we do backfilling, but that is something that is ongoing and fully anticipate that should be completed in time for 2027 deadline.
CEO of Dominica's International Airport Project, Samuel Johnson. Johnson says progress is being made on the development of the tunnel for the International Airport, which is expected to be completed in a year.
As designed, the tunnel will be buried almost 4 meters, which is roughly about 12 feet beneath the actual runway. And then, as I indicated earlier on, it will be 16 feet tall. So that is just to give you a sense as to how deep it's going to be beneath the runway. And why buried? The intention is to ensure that there's no point loading per se on the roof of the tunnel. Any load traversing over it is evenly distributed over almost 12 feet of fill material. So the intent really is to have this. It'll take about, from the developer and contractor, about a year for the tunnel to be complete. The structure and the shell will probably be finished in 6 to 8 months, but the actual finishing works for that length of tunnel, you'd have to put in mechanisms such as ventilation and lighting to ensure that vehicle operators can traverse the tunnel safely in both directions.
CEO of Dominica's International Airport Project, Samuel Johnson. Acting Police Chief Lincoln Corbett says an initiative to rid the streets of illegal firearms has been encouraging. Operation Clean Street brought in members of the Regional Security System RSS who joined forces with the Dominica Police Force in October.
As I mentioned, Operation Clean Street, the operation is still ongoing, and again you will see more being done in the coming weeks. During that operation, several firearms were seized and ammunition. We made 24 arrests for various infractions to include firearms and also wanted persons. We also seized during the operation the largest haul of cocaine in Dominica, 1,700 kilos of cocaine, an estimated street value of over 46 million EC dollars. That, I said again, have been the most significant, biggest haul in Dominica. And again, that did not come by surprise. It came by hard work of the officers. But I know what it took for the officers to get this amount of cocaine off the streets. And while I'm on the issue of cocaine, sometime this week, we'll have what we call the big burn, meaning that we're going to be destroying that amount of cocaine and among other drugs that we have in excess of 50 million EC dollars. That will happen sometime in a week, and we'll invite the media to witness it for themselves. And we did a big burn sometime this year, but we're going to do a bigger burn this year to destroy all what we have in our custody.
That is Acting Police Chief Lincoln Corbett. In more news, Minister of State in the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Blue and Green Economy, Julian Defoe, says the new Ocean Oasis Hotel in Castle Comfort will complement efforts to grow the sector. The 37-room hotel opened its doors at the weekend.
Let us be clear. Every new room built, every visitor welcomed, every service offered creates job, generates income, and fuels our economy. Tourism today contributes nearly 40% of Dominica's GDP, directly and indirectly supporting thousands of families. So that is in local terms, 40 cents on every dollar is being generated by the tourism sector. With Ocean's Oasis new rooms, we are not just adding beds, we are expanding opportunities. But hear me well, we need 5,000 because we are now still a little distance away from that 5,000. More rooms across the island to match the growth that is coming. Because when our international airport opens in 2027, which it will, Dominica will be connected to the world like never before. And every traveler must have a place to stay, a story to tell, and a reason to return.
Minister of State in the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Blue and Green Economy, Julan Defoe. Efforts are underway to revive the Waraka Sewinal Festival this year. That's according to the parliamentary representative for the Salibé constituency, Kozia Frederick. Frederick says the festival is expected to highlight the old Christmas spirit. The Waraka Sewinal Festival will take place on December 21st in Atkinson.
For a number of years, the village council reached out to the rest of Dominica to participate in the Sewinal Festival. It's basically using the traditional knowledge from the area to have a festival that will highlight the old Christmas spirit and bringing it to light in that space. And as a parliamentary representative, I've been partnering with the council for the past few months to resuscitate that particular festival. And we had a drawback because of COVID and also Hurricane Maria before that. But realized that I personally, as a parliamentary representative, I saw that something was lacking in the Atkinson community, an activity that will draw people into that space to enjoy the hospitality of the Atkinson people. There has been a lot of focus over the years in the Kalinago territory part of my constituency, and I realized that I need to do more in the Atkinson space. So the Sewinal Festival will bring people together in that wonderful space. We do have a wonderful venue. We're actually on the side of the old venue, sort of on the bus stop area, but this year we'll go into the playing field. The playing field is a community playing field shared by the community and the school. We have started cleaning out that space during the community day of service. And as a parliamentary representative, I want to give your support to the village council. And I have already proposed to them that I want to be part of the production. I have some experience in the music and the performing arts, and I want to bring that to bear on the entire festival. I think it is one that will highlight Atkinson.
Parliamentary representative for the Salibé constituency, Kozia Frederick, committee member of the Kalinago Council, Muta Matthew, is hopeful that all traditional bands will partake in the festival this year.
What we are looking forward towards is to have our jimping, all the cultural bands from Dominica, we're going to feature them. So we hope that they're going to play the carols and the stuff like that. So most of jimping bands from Dominica will be here in that Sewinal Festival. So we're hoping to have, we are now in the process of finalizing with them. And so we are hoping to have the Paybush, the Girodel, the Layu, the Warner jimping bands here, along with Akayo and some of the Kalinago groups and stuff like that. So the main feature is the jimping bands, which they will be providing the local traditional music for Christmas.
Committee member of the Kalinago Council, Muta Matthew. That's the national focus, regional and international developments. Up next.
This Christmas, Flow is making the season merrier when you add postpaid to internet. Unwrap a new smartphone for only $10. Plus, we're giving you 35% off your mobile bill and win even more goodies with our Spin the Wheel Christmas promotion. This Christmas, the rewards are on us. Add postpaid to your internet plan today in-store or visit discoverflow.co for more info. Terms and conditions apply. Flow, we keep your Christmas rhythm flowing.
DBS News.
Welcome back. In news from the region, Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bisesa is giving a firm assurance that Trinidad and Tobago will not be used by the U.S. to launch any attacks against the people of Venezuela. The Prime Minister yesterday responded to a stinging broadside critique from former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, who slammed her handling of this country's position in the United States and Venezuela tensions. During a news conference at his home, Rowley raised concerns, criticisms, queries and observations on the ongoing situation. Acting Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Minister Barry Padarath and Works and Infrastructure Minister Jolene John also took a turn at Rowley. Internationally, COP30 host Brazil has created 10 new indigenous territories, with the climate summit hit by protests in recent days. The designation means the areas, including one in part of the Amazon, will have their culture and environment protected under Brazilian law, though this is not always enforced. The move follows similar actions from President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, whose government recognized indigenous possession of 11 territories last year. The latest measure will be formalized through a presidential decree. That's it for the regional and international developments. Sports is up next.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
This Christmas, Flow's making the season merrier when you add postpaid to internet. Unwrap a new smartphone for only $10. Plus, we're giving you 35% off your mobile bill and win even more goodies with our Spin the Wheel Christmas promotion. This Christmas, the rewards are on us. Add postpaid to your internet plan today in-store or visit discoverflow.co for more info. Terms and conditions apply. Flow, we keep your Christmas rhythm flowing.
Welcome to the DBS Sports Report. First up, the search is on for a new General Secretary of the Dominica Football Association. That's because the DFA has decided not to renew the contract of the former General Secretary, Jasmine Vidal-Matthew. Mrs. Vidal-Matthew had served as General Secretary since 2021. DFA President Glenn Etienne, while not going into details for the reason for not renewing the contract, thanked the former secretary for her services to the sport. He says he is hoping to have the position filled by the start of the new year.
Well, the FA is looking for another general secretary. But the last secretary, the contract was not renewed, and we're now looking for someone to fill in that position as soon as possible. But could discuss the personalities of someone, an employee, at this time, but it was just a matter the contract was ended and at the end of the month, and we the executive have decided that okay, we are moving on in terms of recruiting somebody new for that position, and we're hoping and wanting to get somebody that's competent and has the expertise to help the FA in moving our projects or various projects that we have in the pipeline. New Year, 1st of January, we should have somebody in that position. If it can be done earlier, we would be very happy about this, but at least maybe that's the timeline we are giving ourselves in that matter.
DFA President Glenn Etienne. Meantime, Mr. Etienne says the DFA is hoping to have the position of head coach of the senior men's national football team filled soon. The contract of interim coach Ellington Sabin came to an end at the conclusion of the Dominica last round of matches in the CONCACAF series. Etienne says over 400 applications were received for the position.
Because we had sent out a notice looking for a coach to take on the position as a full-time coach. Mr. Sabin has been in an interim position up to the last game that just played. So hence the reason why now we have to move the wheels in motion quicker and come up with someone to take on the national senior men team as of the next encounter they're going to. A lot of application. Well, football being a big business, or football being a major sport, you expect this. And it was sent out on DFA, all social media pages. So persons all over the Caribbean or around the world have been applying for that position. But someday we have to consider it's going to be very a costly position. When I mean cost in terms of salaries for a particular coach, and the DFA has to be very not careful, but how we go about selecting and in terms of the membership for the salary of the coach. And it's something we have to get advised also, because like you said, it's a lot of application from foreign persons. So we'd have to do a lot of background check on the various personnel and make sure that they are whether in good standing or somebody that can help us in developing our football. We rely heavily on the expertise of CONCACAF and other institutions that can assist us in that field.
That is DFA's President Glenn Etienne. Minister of State for Sports Oscar George has congratulated Dominica's men's under-23 volleyball team on being crowned champions of the ECVA under-23 men's tournament in Antigua. Dominica defeated the host nation 3-1 in Sunday's finals, going undefeated throughout the competition.
This is yet another significant moment in our local sports, which needs to be highlighted and celebrated. The truth is, it really brings us joy to see our athletes get the exposure while competing against other players from the region. But it is even more satisfying when they excel and do well while making us proud as Dominicans. And we were advised that the team went undefeated in the entire competition. So this speaks volumes to the quality of volleyball that Dominica was able to play at this competition. Of course, we take the opportunity to congratulate the entire team in a special way on being crowned regional under-23 men's volleyball champions for 2025. We recognize the hard work and contribution of every single member of the team, including the coaching staff that also played a very important role in the success of the team this year. This is really big for volleyball, and we hope that it will be used as a springboard to better things for volleyball in Dominica. We also want to put on record our commendations to the Volleyball Association on his hard work and ongoing efforts at developing volleyball on the island. It is no secret that results like this really fosters that greater sense of motivation and determination to continue pushing ahead, all in the interest of advancing sports in Dominica. So again, on behalf of the ministry responsible for sports, we congratulate our under-23 volleyball team, and of course, we recognize all who played a critical role in bringing home this gold for Dominica. Congratulations to all.
Minister of State in the Ministry of Sports, Oscar George. West Indies fast bowler Jaden Seals feels the team has to be better in the field and also look to rotate the strike with the bat as they look to square the ODI series with New Zealand. The two teams will meet in the second ODI tonight, Caribbean time. The first ball is at 9 p.m. tonight. The West Indies lost the first ODI by 7 runs.
Well, I'll touch on the bowling first. We could have tried and restrict them for less than 269. I think we had too many missed chances in the field and probably didn't use the dimensions of the ground as best as we could have. And then on the batting front, probably just find a way to rotate the strike a bit better and just capitalize when they give us the bad balls, and we should be all right to win the second one. As I said, assess fast and formulate plans while out there on the field, because we obviously have our own plans going into the game for different batsmen and different bowlers, but on the day once the pitch is looking a different way or the outfield is big on one side or a strong wind factor like the last match, we have to formulate plans to get them to play to where we want them to and try and restrict them for as less runs as possible.
That's West Indies fast bowler Jaden Seals. He is confident that the batters will step up.
Yeah, I think we've been coming together well as a batting group. Yeah, we didn't get the big start that we would like in the power play with the T20s and even yesterday in the first ODI the day before, But to see the way the guys hold it together and that they were fighting for the team and batting balls and trying to get accustomed to the conditions, and then Shafi in the way he fought back from his little lean patch there, I kind of could have seen it coming because throughout the day he was just really quiet, which is unlike him. And he formulated his plan in the dressing room. He went out to bat. You could have seen that he was digging in. He was trying to get a start. And then he played some shots that made all of us think, right, yeah, he's somewhat looking like himself. And we all believe that he would have gotten runs at some point. Casey and Shea, they've been doing it for the past year and a half. So props to them, just for them to keep doing it, keep playing out those big performances for the team. And obviously not every game they're going to perform, so it's for the guys around to keep putting their hands up. Like we saw in the first game, we had a lot of starts, so it's just for the boys to continue and try and push on.
West Indies fast bowler Jaden Seals. In the Lone Sports Division under 16 netball match today, Northeast Comprehensive A delivered a commanding performance to defeat the Northeast Comprehensive B in a decisive 34-4 margin. The game was played in Marigot. The NECSA showed strong accuracy in the circle, led by Catalina Bugunu, who scored 16 from 26 attempts. She was supported by Adhari Samuel with 8 from 14 and Ronaika Edward with 10 from 15. For NECSB, Kenisha James was the lone scorer, netting 4 from her 14 attempts. The Northeast Comprehensive A controlled the pace from start to finish, securing a comfortable 34 goals to 4 victory. Matches in the sports division netball competition will continue on the 28th of November. In football, the Isaiah Thomas Secondary School and the Pierre Charles Secondary School battled to a 0-0 draw on Tuesday at Newtown Savannah in the sports division under 15 football competition. Both teams showed great determination in search of a winner, but it was the Pierre Charles Secondary boys who created the most promising chances. Despite mounting several attacks, they were unable to break through the resilient Isaiah Thomas Secondary defense. In the end, strong defensive efforts on both sides meant the match finished scoreless, leaving the two teams to share the points. Coach of the Windward Island Volcanoes team, Kenroy Peters, feels the team will give a better showing in the upcoming Regional Super 50 Overs tournament. The Windwards finished 6th place in last year's competition. The Volcanoes will open their campaign against the Leeward Island Hurricanes on Wednesday. Peters says the Volcanoes are better prepared for this year's tournament.
This year preparation has been a lot better compared to previous years, where we were able to spend a lot more time together as a group. This is mainly because 13 of the players were part of the Volcano contracted place. So this year preparation has been a lot better compared to previous years. We focus a lot on individual skill and tactical enhancement. The fitness component was geared around specific roles in the tournament, and we concluded our preparation with 4 practice games, one which being under the lights. So that gives players a chance to really showcase their talent and their skills. From the discussions with a few players, everyone is quite happy with the preparation that they put in. We were able to spend a lot more time hitting balls, bowling extra balls, and feeling with the mixture of talented young batters and the inexperience of our bowling attack. I think this is probably one of the better teams that we have put out to represent us in a Super 50, because the young talent in the bowling group are capable of making a mark and leading the bowling group for a very long time in Windward's cricket.
Head coach of the Windward Island Volcanoes team, Kenroy Peters. The Windward's team will be picked from Teddy Bishop, Sonil Ambrose, McKenny Clark, Daryl Cyrus, Kenneth Dember, Sadrak Descat, Daniel McDonald, Dylan Douglas, Keon Gaston, Johan Jeremiah, Kiman Emilius, Kirsten Murray, Darren Ned, and Stefan Pascal. The match will get underway at 2 p.m. on Wednesday. Other games on Wednesday will see Guyana play in Jamaica and Trinidad taking on Barbados. The Dominica Tennis Association is moving to ignite a major revival in the sport, announcing plans for a series of mini tournaments and coaching development programs to take place on the basketball surface in Bath Estate. These initiatives will come on the heels of a week-long coaching program led by the international tennis coach John Huda, aimed at strengthening foundational skills and boosting local interest. The association's president Dave Barron says the immediate goal is to identify and prepare a 12 and under team to represent Dominica at the regional championships in Trinidad next year. And that's all the time for the news this evening. I've been the presenter of the news and sports. And on behalf of the news and sports department and our links person, Joseph Fadul, I'm Alden Christopher saying Good evening.
This Christmas, Flow is making the season merrier when you add postpaid to internet. Unwrap a new smartphone for only $10. Plus, we're giving you 35% off your mobile bill and win even more goodies with our Spin the Wheel Christmas promotion. This Christmas, the rewards are on us. Add postpaid to your internet plan today in-store or visit discoverflow.co for more info. Terms and conditions apply. Flow, we keep your Christmas rhythm flowing.
DBS Radio gives you top quality service over any other for live streaming of funerals. Call us today at 448-3282.